Alright, everybody, welcome back to yet again another hockey card collection video. We got the Devils All-Star on because we're doing a good old Devils hockey card collection video. This should be a fun one. Then I'm wearing the OBX hat because I went there about a year ago and I cannot wait for season 3 of the show. So, anyways, I won't waste any more of your time. Devils fans and hockey card fans, or anybody, make sure to subscribe if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it, and let's get into this one. Alrighty, so we'll start off here with the usual team checklist. This is the checklist from 2020-21, so I'll just read off all the players. Travis Zajac, Miles Wood, PK Subban, Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Nikita Gusev, Jesper Boquist, Pavel Zacha, Jesper Bratt, Kyle Palmieri, Mackenzie Blackwood, Damon Severson, and Will Butcher. The only players that aren't on the team anymore, I don't think, are Will Butcher and Nikita Gusev. I think everybody else, or Kyle Palmieri as well, I think apart from that, everybody else is still on the team except for Zajac as well. That's it for the checklist. Next up, you have the Collector's Choice Jersey Devils checklist. It's a pretty nice card. I like that. We'll read off the back here as well. Tommy Albanen, Doug Brown, Sean Burke, Bruce Driver, Vyacheslav Fedostov, Mark Johnson, Alexei Kostanov, John McLean, Kirk Muller, Jan Ojanen, Brendan Shanahan, Peter Stastny, Patrick Sundstrom, Chris Terreri, Sylvain Turgeon, Randy Velishek, Claude Viglain, and Paul Yesbrard. Probably butchered some of those names. I apologize. This is a 15-year-old kid reading off these cards. So, yeah. Next up here, we have a coach. This is John Cunniff. No idea who that is. Pro set card, obviously. Now we move on to the actual player. So starting off here, we got Nico Hischier. I actually have a lot of cards for Hischier, comparatively speaking. So we'll start off with his MVP card there for this coming season. Hischier scored the first goal of the 2021 season in a 4-3 overtime win in Buffalo on February 25th. Don't remember that at all. Next up, you have his All-Star card for 2020-21. Hischier did not look out of place when playing in his first NHL All-Star game in 2020, led the Metropolitan Division by scoring a pair of goals and setting up another marker in a battle with the Atlantic Division in a semifinal on January 25th. Next up, you have his base card for 2020-21. The Devils' 2017 first overall pick attended his first career NHL All-Star game in 2020, ranked the third most protected Devil with 36 points, 3 of which came against the Maple Leafs in December 27, 2019, when Hischier scored the opening goal and tallied 2 assists. Next up, we have his O-Pee-Chee card heading into 2018-2019. And then here's his MVP card heading into 2018-2019. So it's pretty cool cards. I've been a fan of Hischier for a bit. Always liked him as a captain. And I don't think he's a bust. I don't think he should have been picked first overall, but I don't think he's a bust. I think he's still a very good player. Next up, you have Jamie Langenbrother, one of the captains. This is heading into the 08-09 season. Langenbrother, who was named the 8th captain in Devils history, has been a clutch playoff performer during his NHL career, boasting 12 game-winning goals, including 4 overtime winners. So he's quite the Devil. Next up, you got the man, the myth, the legend, I guess. Scott Stevens. We got a bunch of cards for Scott Stevens here. So we'll start off with his SP Authentic. I'm going to start collecting all the SP Authentics. I'm going to go through the collection at some point and just start organizing them separately. I think that'd be cool. Steven's toughness shined through a number of his occasions during the Devils Cup run. He won many physical battles and loose pucks. Steven uses his 18 years of National Hockey League experience to his advantage. This is heading into the 2000-2001 season. You have this card as well. Scott Stevens was like kind of a controversial player, but like I remember back in the 90s, he wasn't as controversial as someone like Sean Avery. I remember we made a TikTok on Sean Avery not all too long ago. So there you go. That is Scott Stevens for you. Next up here we have Kirk Muller. That's way too much to read. Usually these cards, they have so much to read, it's not even funny. And it would be kind of cool to do that, but I did that in previous videos. Previous hockey card collections back in like 2020 when I was doing this, when I started this. And those videos were like 30 minutes long. And for some collections, like the Bruins and the Sabres, and I think the Flames as well, I had to expand it to like 2 parts. So no, no way I'm doing that again. Next up here, we have Bruce Driver. I can read that. Bruce was a good shot from the point and often works in the power play. His 205 shots were the most in Devils defenseman last year, and his 42 points were the second on the team with Scott Stevens. Steady and reliable on defense. So, solid defenseman. Stadium Club. Got a score. You guys upper deck there as well. Next up, Randy McKay. Only one card here for Randy McKay. Nothing too big there. It's a different format of a Topps card. Next up, Miles Wood. Rocking the assistant captain. Such a big fan of Miles Wood. Love him. Wood's 3 points lifted the Devils to a 5-3 win in Buffalo on January 31st, 2021. Don't remember that either. It seems like all of these are just beating Buffalo. That's the second one we got. Next up, John McLean. I can read that as well. McLean was sidelined last season due to an injury. He's expected to return this season, coming completely healthy. His presence will immediately enhance the Devils' offensive attack. Obviously a good forward. And then you have his scorecard there as well. Patrick Sundstrom up next. Got quite the cards for him, so just go through him a little bit here. Some nice cards. It's cool to look back at these. I know some people may not care. Literally none of you probably will care. But I think they are pretty cool to look back on. And especially show my collection off to the world. And hey, I'm finishing off a playlist that I started almost 2 years ago. Kyle Palmieri up next. Artifacts card. Obviously, he's on the Islanders now. Had a lot of respect for Palmieri for a very long time. Palmieri's had a career high in power play goals during the 2017-18 season, while also ranking second among all his Devils teammates in man advantage markers that year. Next up, you have his Shining Stars card. This is quite an interesting card. It's shining, obviously. In his first season with New Jersey in 2015-16, Palmieri led the Devils with 57 points. He was tied for first with 30 goals and ranked as second with 26 assists. All career highs. And then we have his Artifacts card from heading into 2016-17, so I'll read this one as well. Palmieri, who grew up in Montvale, New Jersey, more than doubled his previous career best goal totals in his first season with the Devils, tying for the team lead with Adam Henrique, while also pacing for his club career high 57 points. So interesting there. We're not even done with the assistant captains yet. Next up, Stéphane Richer. Might have said that wrong, but there you go. Some of these cards are so difficult to show because they're all shiny. So Stéphane Richer there. Big fan of him. Next up, Andy Green. Or final of the assistant captains. I know he was a captain, but I only have an assistant captain thing for him. Green led the Devils with 172 block shots in 2014-15 and finished the season having played 228 consecutive games. He had a pair of assists and a +3 in the Devils' 5-2 win over the Flyers on March 8th. One thing I remember about Andy Green was that back in the 2020 playoffs with the Islanders, he had such a good beard. Claude Lemieux. Claude Lemieux is quite the controversial player. I've made a couple TikToks on him. One TikTok got taken down, actually. Talking about the fight that changed hockey. That got taken down. Next up, Miles O'Connor. His TikTok's soft. It's a top prospect, by the way. Pat Conacher. So some of these we will roll right through, but others will take a little bit to go through. Like these. Next up is Brian Boyle. Boyle, the man himself. Love this guy. Went to the Penguins this year. Diagnosed with leukemia in training camp, Boyle capped 2017-18 off by taking home the Masterton Trophy, given for perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication. Nothing but respect to him. There's his 2017-18 card as well. Boyle split the 2016-17 season between Tampa Bay and Toronto, going north in a trade before signing with a free agent contract with the Devils prior to the 2017-18 season. Next up here, you have David Malley. Sorry. Doug Brown. Need to focus. Nope, that's way too much. And then here's his base card as well for score 91. Hate the scorecards. Only because I have so many of them. You've John Morris up next. Prospect 90. And then you have a Star Juniors rookie card. I'll put that aside real quick. Mark Johnson. Did we already talk about John McLean? I swear we did. Yeah, we did. What the? Why is he here? I guess another form of John McLean's cards. Hold on a second. Let me see if I actually have that one and it's just a duplicate. Okay, no, I don't. So I'll just put that there. I've experienced this before, and that's why I do these hockey card collections, because personally, like, a lot of the cards, like, I won't notice that I already have that player, so I won't put them in a separate column. But next up, Drew Stafford. I think he retired not that long ago. Stafford's second goal of the game against the Lightning on October 17, 2017, knotted the score at 4 goals apiece in the third period of an eventual 5-4 shootout victory for the Devils on home ice. Next up here, you have John Moore. Moore started the 2017-18 season right away, notching a third period goal when the Devils topped the visiting Avalanche 4-1 in New Jersey season opening game on October 7th. So he's quite an interesting player there. Next up, Tom Chorsk. Moving on to the next page here, we have Bernie Nichols. We'll read this one. Bernie is at his best when he utilizes his wingers. He passes so well that they must always be alert. He doesn't position himself near the crease until his line mates shoot and the defenseman attempt to block. He then cuts to the net and looks for the deflection. So, interesting pull there. Next up, Scott Niedermayer. A member of the 92-93 NHL Upper Deck All-Rookie team, Niedermayer is a talented young rookie defenseman. He's an exceptional skater with speed, agility, and balance. Niedermayer also shows great poise and confidence with the puck. So picked second overall by the Devils in that 92 draft. We all know who got picked first. Next up, Peter Stastny. Got a couple cards here for him as well. All right, next up is, if I can put that in there, is Vladislav Fedostov. Sorry, sideways card. Quite the player. Next up is Laurie Boschman. Got nothing to read on the back there. Brendan Shanahan up next. Kind of just roll straight through these cards. Paul Martin. Martin played a very talented blue line corps of the University of Minnesota that also included NHLers Jordan Leopold and Keith Ballard. This is heading into the 09-10 season. Next up, Taylor Hall. I have quite the card collection for Taylor Hall here too. Here's his MVP card first, and then here is his Scoring Kings card. This is quite an interesting card there. Got the nice little lightning bolts. Actually looks pretty sick. Hall led the Edmonton Oilers with 26 goals and 65 points in the 2015-16 before any offseason trade to the Devils. He started quickly with his new team, scoring 5 goals in his first 8 games in 2016-17. Cool little stat there. Next up is the now Minnesota Wild GM Bill Guerin. He's made quite the moves, trading Kevin Fiala. Not happening too long after this video was recorded. These videos are pre-recorded, by the way. They just go up randomly. Next up is Brian Rolston. Sideways card there. Taking a nice little shot. Rolston helped the Lake Superior State win the NCAA championship as a freshman in 1992, scoring the game-winning goal in the title and being named to the all-tournament team. So, He's an interesting one there as well. Next up here, we have two for Yegor Sharangovich. They're practically the same. It's just this one is Ice Battles. If you want to look at that, I don't even know what this stuff means. Sharangovich's first NHL goal gave the Devils a 2-1 extra time win over Boston on January 16th, 2021. I reviewed that game on this channel, and I remember watching that game. Sharangovich has developed as definitely one of my favorite Devils I've watched. He's a very entertaining guy to watch. Next up is Jay Pandolfo, if I pronounced that correctly. Pandolfo played 12 NHL seasons, all of them with New Jersey. His 767 games played entering the 2009-2010 season is the 8th most in Devils history. Then you have his older card here as well. A familiar face with the Devils sweater after nearly a decade of service, Pandolfo's shot found the back of a net in a 2-1 win over Pittsburgh on October 18th, 2016 or 2006, not 2016. Not that far ahead. Next up, Adam Henrique. Henrique known for his iconic Henrique, it's over. One of my favorite calls of all time. That's a much older card there. You have Chris McAlpine. Might have pronounced that wrong. Probably pronounced that wrong. Next up, Jesper Bratt. Been a fan of Bratt for a while. Always respected him as a player. Here's his 2020-21 card. Bratt's put together a hot streak in February 2020, recording 10 points in 13 games for the Devils. He scored his second game-winning goal in the season on February 25th when he picked up a Pavel Zacha rebound and slot deposited the puck into the net for a power play tally that gave New Jersey a 4-1 win over the Detroit Red Wings. Fun fact, I actually remember that game. Then you have his O-Pee-Chee card here as well. Next up, we have, of course, Jamie Langen brother. This is supposed to be actually at the front. Not sure how I never noticed that. But you know what? Some things you never notice. Next up, Damon Severson. Peachy card there. Then you have his 2020-21 card. Severson ranked in the Devils' most productive defenseman in the second consecutive season in 2019-20. His 8 goals contained 2 game winners, including when he scored against the Washington Capitals with less than 2 minutes left in regulation to save New Jersey from overtime on February 22nd. Interesting there, Severson. And then you have Doug Brown. Moving on, we have Brian Gibbons. Peachy card there. I see another error before it even came. Eric Weinrich. We have a lot of Devils errors today. Jesus. Didn't think there'd be this many. Brian Rolston. Scorer card, though. That's interesting. Andreas Janssen. With just 17 seconds left in the first period in Buffalo on January 31st, 2021, Johansson flipped the puck on the top shelf to give the Devils a 2-0 lead over the Sabres. The tally was earned a second in 2 games out in Jersey, earned a 5-3 victory. Next up, Blake Coleman, obviously with the Flames now, so it's been a long time since he's been with the Devils. Next up, we got Ty Smith, young and upcoming defenseman. Smith set up Jesper Bratt, an overtime winner for a 2-1 overtime winner in Pittsburgh on March 21st, 2021. Next up, Will Butcher. I'm going to have to check something here because I know not all these cards are actually new. So let me go back to Tommy Albin here real quick. Let me find him. Because I've made so many of these errors before, it's actually kind of annoying. Wait, did I even go through them? I might be just straight up just not thinking right now. I actually don't even think we went through them. I think I just remember them from reading the checklist. I'm such an idiot. All right. Anyways, Tommy Albinen. Albinen? Albellin? I don't even know. Next up, Stefan Noasen. O-Pee-Chee card there. On to Eric Weinrich. Eric Jelnez. Jelinez led all Devils defense with 112 shots on goal in 2014-15 and only trailed Marek Zalidski on the team's blue lines with an average of .213 time on ice per game on power plays. That's an interesting stat. Time on ice on the power play. Lee Stempniak. He's been compared by some scouts to Logan Cooley, fun fact. Stempniak endeared himself to his new fans by scoring the game-winning goal, his first at the Devil, in overtime to give New Jersey a 2-1 win over the arch-rival Rangers on October 18th, 2015. Up next, we have Pavel Zacha. Talked about Zacha in a couple videos. Zacha scored his 7th NHL game winner on February 25th, 2021 against Buffalo in overtime. Then you have his MVP card there as well. Zacha scored his first 2 goals of the 2017-18 first multi-goal game of his career and helped the Devils win a 6-3 win in Toronto on October 11th. Next up, we have Yang Kuokkanen. Probably pronounced that wrong. I usually do that. Kuokkanen scored his first NHL goal against Buffalo on January 30th, 2021, kicking off a 3-game point streak. He capped off the run by setting 3 markers in New Jersey's 5-2 victory over the host Rangers on February 16th. That's my birthday. Fun fact for all you probably don't care. Alexei Kostanov. There you go. Next up, Jacob Josephsons. Probably pronounced that wrong. Was part of the 2012 Cup Finals. Michael Camilleri, experienced NHLer. The Devils' leader in goals, power play goals, and game-winning tallies in 2014 began his first season in New Jersey with goals of each in his first 3 games and 4 of his first 5. Next up, we have an Ice Battles PK Subban card. Next page, we have Alan Stewart. There you go. What the? Why is this? Why is the Dave Malley card with Alan Stewart? That is not right. That proves that I do not pay attention at all. Dave Malley. Here he is. My mistake. Moving on now to Marcus Johansson. Johansson, who joined the Devils in a July 7, 2017 trade, had a 5-game point streak through March 23rd through March 31st, 2017, totaling 10 points and a +3 as the Caps went 4-1. Next up, you have Jane Ojanen. Probably said that wrong. Got Ken Daneyko up next. There you go. Longest we've ever gone to in these hockey card videos is probably, I think, 32 minutes, and then we split it off to a part. So I'm not splitting it off to parts this time, so we're just going to roll the whole way through. Ryan Murray made the score sheet just 20 seconds into New Jersey's 5-3 run over the Buffalo Sabres on January 31st, 2021, as he earned an assist on Michael McLeod's quick opening tally. It's Ryan Murray, by the way. Because this is starting to get a little bit longer than the Canadiens video, which took 27 minutes. So maybe we'll reach the mark. The Flyers card collection will definitely beat all the videos. Troy Crowder. Crowder made his first NHL appearance with the Devils in the '88 playoffs after a junior career that saw him play with Hamilton, Belleville, and North Bay of the Ontario Hockey League. Next up, we got a couple cards here for Vyacheslav Fedostov. So there you go. Ilya Kovalchuk, hated by Devils fans. The Devils' new sniper wears number 17 as a homage to his former legendary Soviet winger, Valery Kharlamov, one of the most celebrated players in Russian hockey history. If you watch Miracle on Ice, you would know. Esa Tikkanen. He's quite the player. Played for Edmonton as well. Almost done with the players. We have Paul Yesbart up next. cards for him there. Chris Barch. It's a little bit too long. Alexander Semak. Almost done here. Next up, we have Claude Lemieux. That is not. He's not in the place where he's supposed to be. There's his crown right there. Dash card. Score 91. I'll go back to find his other card. I've made this error so many times in this video. That's 3 errors that we've had. Next up, Walt Puldobny. Not only that, but I'm butchering names. Next up, Kevin Todd. He's the second to last of the players. And then last of the skaters, before we get on to the goaltenders, we have Jack Hughes. Hughes netted the winner in a 2-0 triumph over the visiting Islanders on January 24th, 2021. And moving on to the goaltenders, we have Sean Burke, who is now the goaltending coach of the Golden Knights. Nice little card there. That's pretty cool. Scorecard there as well. Chris Terreri up next. And on to our final 3 attendees. We have Corey Schneider, one of my favorite Devils. I actually have a jersey for him, just wearing the All-Star today. This is heading into 2015-16. Got his Artifacts card right here. Schneider's lone shutout during the 2017 season was a 38th save effort when the visiting Devils blanked the Canucks 2-0 on November 3rd. He garnered first-star honors that night. This one as well. Then you have his MVP card. Moving on to Mackenzie Blackwood. We only have 2 cards for him. Start with his ice battles for this coming year. On March 28th, 2021, Blackwood made 40 saves and a shutout host over Boston, 1-0. And then we have his base card there as well. Blackwood weathered the 8th most shots in NHL history in the NHL in 2019-20. Luckily for New Jersey, he also made the 8th most saves, saving 1,328 pucks on his way to claiming 22 of the Devils' 28 victories. He posted back-to-back shutouts on February 20, 2020, making 83 uninterrupted saves to blank the Philadelphia Flyers and the Los Angeles Kings. And then last but not least, you have arguably one of the best goaltenders in history, and it's funny that we had him last. Martin Brodeur. Brodeur tied his personal best and New Jersey Devils club mark by racking up 43 wins last season. The playoff-tested netminder has 244 regular season and 50 postseason victories. He gets the job done. This card as well. And then this first-round draft choice from 1990. Look at young Marty there. And that does it for the Devils collection. A little bit longer than the Montreal Canadiens one. But that is completely okay. No worries to that. Next up will be the New York Islanders. So Islanders fans, you guys are up next. Prepare yourselves. Your collection is pretty lengthy as well. It will take us a little bit. Yeah, it'll definitely take us a while. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. Thank you all very much for watching Friday Sports Elite. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe for new for more hockey card type videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.